The training hall of the Galactic Defense Academy was silent, so silent you could hear the hum of the holographic walls breathing with light. Recruits from 37 species stood in neat ranks, scales glinting, fur bristling, eyes gleaming beneath the Academy's silver insignia. At the center of the hall stood the simulation chamber, a sphere of shimmering energy. Within it lay a world none of them had ever conquered. The Earth simulation. It was the ultimate test. Every species in the Galactic Coalition trained through it at least once, a scenario designed from humanity's own ancient wars, disasters, and survival events. The challenge: last 6 hours without losing your squad. No recruit, alien or otherwise, had ever passed. The instructor, a tall insectoid with eyes like glass, clicked his mandibles as he addressed the group. Recruits, today you will face the most chaotic environment known to the galaxy. Earth, circa the human cataclysm era. Floods, radiation storms, predators, social collapse, and, of course, humans themselves. A few aliens hissed or chittered uneasily. The instructor continued, his tone dry. You are to maintain order, preserve your unit, and complete the objective: rescue and extraction. You will fail. Everyone does. A nervous laugh rippled through the ranks. Then he added, almost smugly, in 200 years of operation, not a single participant has survived beyond the 3rd hour. Even the Sarnak elites, the most advanced war caste in the galaxy, were crushed by the simulation's brutality. He turned to gesture dramatically toward the recruits. Any volunteers? Silence. Then, from the back row, a human voice said clearly, I'll do it. Heads turned. Murmurs spread. A young woman stepped forward. Human, late 20s, brown hair tied back, the insignia of Earth restoration core glinting faintly on her chest. Her name tag read Cadet Riley Thorne. The instructor's mandibles clicked in amusement. A human volunteering for the Earth simulation? That's poetic. Riley shrugged. I figured I'd give home an honest representation. You understand, he said, that even your kind's veterans failed this test? Yes, sir. She smiled faintly, but maybe they forgot how to be human. Minutes later, Riley stood alone inside the sphere. The energy walls shimmered and dissolved, replacing the sterile academy hall with chaos. The simulation loaded in fragments: lightning, thunder, broken cities half swallowed by forests. The sky was red with ash. A once blue Earth rendered in tragedy. The system voice announced. Simulation start. Objective: survive 6 hours. Protect civilians. Extract alive. Riley adjusted her breathing. Her pulse synced to the combat HUD that flickered across her visor. Then the storm hit. Hurricane-force winds slammed debris through the streets. AI-generated looters screamed in the distance. A collapsing skyscraper groaned overhead. Any other recruit would have panicked. Riley didn't. She'd grown up on post-war Earth, in the ruins of old continents. She'd learned to hunt through radiation zones, to rebuild water filters from scrap, to calm people on the verge of breaking. To her, this wasn't horror. It was home. She ducked under fallen girders, scanning for the trapped civilians indicated on her HUD. 3 signals pulsed weakly nearby. She found them huddled under a collapsed bridge, holographic constructs of alien civilians meant to test empathy under duress. Don't move, she said, crouching beside them. I'm getting you out. The bridge shuddered as she leveraged a beam using nothing but physics and instinct, something the simulation didn't expect. She freed the first 2, and carried the 3rd over her shoulders through the burning rain. Time elapsed. 1 hour, 47 minutes. Health stable. Morale increasing. The instructors watching outside exchanged surprised glances. She's using structural debris for cover, one said. That's not in the manual. She's modifying the environment to her advantage, another murmured. That's creative. The insectoid instructor frowned. She won't last past the 3rd hour. He was wrong. By hour 3, the simulation intensified. Earth's AI defense systems activated, mistaking her for a hostile. Drones screamed down from the sky, firing energy bolts. Riley sprinted through shattered subway tunnels, calculating their predictive targeting. She didn't fight them, she lured them. The drones followed her through the tunnels until she reached the old maintenance sector, where electromagnetic fields pulsed erratically from exposed reactor coils. She ducked behind a wall, shouted, "Come on then." The drones surged forward, right into the field. They shorted instantly, falling from the air in sizzling heaps. She scavenged their power cores and used them to charge her suit's shield battery. Adaptation pattern, unpredictable, the simulation AI reported. Behavioral anomaly detected. She laughed to herself. Welcome to Earth. Outside, the Academy command room was in chaos. She just survived the 3rd hour, shouted a technician. That's impossible. She should be facing 37 concurrent threat profiles. The instructor stared at the monitors. No one has ever beaten the 3rd stage. What's happening? She's thriving, said another voice. The screen showed Riley helping the remaining civilians build a shelter from wreckage, using drone parts as structural anchors. She even found time to cook protein bars from synthetic soil nutrients. Earth, she muttered, watching the firelight flicker in the simulation. You're still beautiful, you know that? Her radio crackled. Hostile wave incoming. 10 combat units. She looked up at the dark sky, where silhouettes descended through the storm, armored figures resembling alien invaders from the Coalition's earliest wars. She smiled. Good. I was getting bored. The 5th hour was carnage. She fought like the history books described, not with superior weapons or armor, but with sheer defiance. Every move was desperation turned into art. She baited enemies into crossfire, used terrain to neutralize numbers, and transformed a crumbling skyscraper into a trap, collapsing it to crush an entire wave. Her vitals spiked dangerously, but she never stopped. Inside the control room, the instructor gripped the console. No recruit could endure that pain threshold. She should have withdrawn hours ago. An old Sarnak veteran chuckled from the corner. That's because you don't understand humans. Pain doesn't scare them. It reminds them they're alive. At 5 hours, 59 minutes, the simulation threw everything it had. Meteor strikes, gas leaks, a full reactor meltdown in the city's core. The AI voice declared, "Endgame sequence, no survival parameters possible," meaning the environment itself was now lethal. Riley didn't run. She activated the drone batteries she'd salvaged earlier and tethered them to the reactor's coolant lines. Come on, she muttered. Not today. She overrode the failsafes, rebalanced the reactor's output manually. Her suit's systems fried. Her HUD went dark. When the final explosion came, it wasn't nuclear, it was light. Pure white, enveloping everything. Silence followed. The simulation ended. The sphere dissolved. Riley stood there, smoke rising from her training suit, her breathing ragged, but alive. The timer above the chamber blinked. 6 hours and 17 seconds. No one moved. The instructor stared at the display, mandibles frozen mid-click. She passed.